Imagine a man smiling at you on the street, polite, quiet, almost harmless. Now imagine that same man secretly committing acts so disturbing that they would shock the entire nation. This isn't fiction. This was real. His name was Albert Fish, one of America's most chilling real-life monsters. Before we begin, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what happens next. Albert Fish was born Hamilton Fish in 1870 in Washington, D.C. His father was 75 when he was born and passed away when Albert was only 5 years old. Soon after, his mother placed him in St. John's Orphanage, a place that would scar
My darling, I'm writing to you, but I do not know where you are.
him forever. He later said, "I saw things there that changed my mind completely." The pain and punishment he witnessed as a child would shape his dark desires later in life. As a teenager, he began to explore strange and harmful fantasies. At 28, he married a woman named Anna, and together they had 6 children. To neighbors, he looked like a quiet, working-class father, but behind closed doors, he was losing control. If this already feels unsettling, hit subscribe, because the next part is where the nightmare truly begins. Fish began traveling across the country, often working odd jobs and moving from city to city. During this time, several children went missing under mysterious circumstances. Authorities rarely connected the cases. The victims came from poor families, and the crimes went largely unnoticed. Fish blended in easily. No one suspected the soft-spoken old man who lived among them. Then came the case that finally revealed his true face. Grace Budd, an 11-year-old girl from New York. In 1928, Fish posed as a wealthy farmer named Frank Howard and visited Grace's parents, pretending he wanted to hire their son for work. Instead, he convinced the family to let Grace accompany him to a so-called birthday party. Grace never returned home. For years, the case remained unsolved, until one day, a letter arrived at the Budd family's home. It described in chilling detail what had really happened. Investigators traced the stationery to a boarding house, followed the lead, and finally arrested Albert Fish. Behind that quiet smile, police found a man who had committed unthinkable crimes for decades. If this story shocks you, don't forget to subscribe, because it only gets darker. During questioning, Fish calmly described his actions, showing no sign of guilt. Detectives said he spoke as if he were telling a bedtime story, emotionless, almost detached from reality. He confessed to multiple killings and to writing letters to families describing what he had done. It was one of the most disturbing confessions investigators had ever heard. At his trial in 1935, Fish pleaded insanity. Psychologists described him as a man consumed by pain, guilt, and delusion, someone who believed he was fulfilling a twisted form of punishment. The jury, however, decided that he was fully aware of his actions. He was found guilty and sentenced to death. On January 16, 1936, Albert Fish met his end in the electric chair at Sing Sing prison. Witnesses said he remained calm until the very last moment, a haunting end to one of the darkest stories in American crime history. Even today, his case is studied by criminologists trying to understand how evil can hide behind an ordinary smile. He looked like a neighbor, a kind old man, but inside he carried something the world had never seen before. And that's the scariest part, because evil doesn't always look like evil. Sometimes it smiles right back at you. If this story gave you chills, make sure to subscribe and tell us in the comments. Could someone like Albert Fish still walk among us today?